In at number 10, Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer was one of the co-hosts of the show, along with Regina Hall and Wanda Sykes. They were all busy when the slap occurred, but they were told about it by their teams afterward. When Amy Schumer came back to the stage after the slap, she made a joke of the situation, saying, quote, "Did I miss anything? There's like a different vibe in here." She shared her thoughts later on Instagram, writing in the caption, quote, "I think we can all agree that the best way to unpack what happened is to stream my series, Life and Beth Hulu, and see me on tour this fall. I love my friend Chris Rock and I believe he handled it like a pro. Stayed up there and gave an Oscar to his friend Questlove, and the whole thing was just so disturbing. So much pain in Will Smith. Anyway, I'm still in shock and stunned and sad. I'm proud of myself and my co-hosts, but yeah, waiting for the sickening feeling to go away from what we all witnessed." In at number 9, Bill Maher. Late night host Bill Maher defended his friend Chris Rock and saluted him for keeping his composure, telling TMZ, quote, "I think Chris Rock did a lot of good. I thought he reacted as well as you could in that situation. It was not a good look for Will. I could make a case that we've all been under a lot of pressure and there's a lot of emotion running through him. It was just out of line and it reinforced the idea that jokes are the enemy. It's sort of like cancel culture encapsulated." Maher added that Rock is a hero for how he handled the situation, adding, quote, "We are looking at someone to pull it together with dignity and get the train back on tracks. He did it and I think you should get a lot of credit for it." In at number 8, Ethan Klein. One YouTuber that made their thoughts incredibly clear was Ethan Klein, who posted a string of tweets denouncing Will's actions. He tweeted, quote, "Will Smith is just a walking L since his wife decided to start weekly humiliating him on her Facebook show. Probably should deal with whatever trauma he has with her instead of punching Chris Rock in the face for an extremely tame joke. He needs to be escorted out of the Oscars. L." Adding in another tweet, quote, "Will Smith won and got a standing ovation. I'm in awe. The show went on like nothing happened. Will Smith punched a comedian for doing his job. He's a celebrity in the front row of the Oscars where it's normal to be roasted. Bad taste or not, defending Will equals brain rot." Many pointed out that Will only did what he did because Chris made fun of his wife's alopecia, but Klein did not back down and said that's no reason to slap someone in the face. In at number 7, Howard Stern. Howard Stern did not hold back on his Monday morning radio show, completely blasting Will Smith for his actions. Stern said, quote, "What you saw on TV was a guy with real issues. That's crazy. That's crazy when you can't contain yourself." His co-host Robin Quivers called the smack a, quote, "blindsided attack," noting that Rock had no idea the hit was coming. Both Stern and Quivers blasted the Academy for not immediately ejecting Smith from the event, with Stern adding, quote, "You don't provide security? You don't have someone come up there? Chris Rock was just trying to make people laugh at the ceremony, which was so long and boring." Comic Nikki Glasser called into the show to agree, with her adding that she is afraid of what might happen to other comedians when they make a risky joke at a comedy club. All three blasted the inaction from other celebrities in the room and the Academy for doing nothing. In at number 6, Kathy Griffin. Kathy Griffin tweeted almost immediately after the slap to condemn Will Smith's actions. She also acknowledged how this action could affect comedy as a whole and make being a comedian more dangerous than it already is. She tweeted, quote, "Let me tell you something, it's a very bad practice to walk up on stage and physically assault a comedian. Now we all have to worry about who wants to be the next Will Smith in comedy clubs and theaters." Halfway at number 5, Judd Apatow. After the shocking altercation, some celebrities took to Twitter to share how much they disagreed with Will Smith's actions. Director Judd Apatow was probably the most vocal, who said in a series of tweets, quote, "Seems like Will Smith's plan to get comedians in the world to not make jokes about him is not going to pan out. The Williams family must be furious, pure narcissism. Also, G.I. Jane was gorgeous. What exactly is insulting about being compared to a ripped, stunning Demi?" He then replied to a tweet that mentioned that Will did what he did because Rock was insulting her alopecia. Apatow then doubled down, writing, quote, "He could have killed him. That's pure out of control rage and violence. They've heard a million jokes about them in the last 3 decades. They're not freshmen in the world of Hollywood and comedy. He lost his mind." Apatow has since deleted these tweets, but we can assume that he meant every word. In at number 4, Zoe Kravitz. After the award show, Zoe Kravitz took to Instagram to slam Will Smith. She posted 2 photos back to back, one showing her Grammys look and another showing her look for the Vanity Fair after party. The captions on the photos read, quote, "Here's a picture of my dress at the show where we are apparently assaulting people on stage now." The other said, quote, "Here's a picture of my dress at the party after the award show where we are apparently screaming profanities and assaulting people on stage now." Shockingly, Zoe actually got a lot of backlash for condemning Will Smith. Many people said she should have just stayed out of it and kept quiet. Many also pointed out that she had been friends with the Smith family in the past, and she was even uncomfortably close with Jaden Smith while he was still a teen. In at number 3, Jim Carrey. Comedian Jim Carrey is another person who has been incredibly vocal about his disgust for Smith's actions. He also slammed the Oscars and Hollywood in general for condoning such a terrible action. During an interview with CBS's Gayle King, Carey said, quote, "I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. Hollywood is just spineless and mass, and it really felt like it was a clear indication that we aren't the cool club anymore." Carey told King that Smith should have been escorted out and arrested. Carey also said that if he were Chris Rock, he would have sued Will Smith. Adding, quote, "I'd have announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because that video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous." Carey also slammed how this could affect comedians in the future, continuing, quote, "That insult is going to last a very long time. If you want to yell from the audience and show disapproval or something like that on Twitter, that's fine. You do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack someone in the face because they said words." And at number 2, Wanda Sykes. Following her gig co-hosting the Oscars, Wanda Sykes went on The Ellen Show to share her feelings on the award show. Sykes was very open about her disapproval of Will Smith and the Academy for not doing more to protect the presenters. Sykes said, quote, "It was sickening. I felt physically ill and I'm still a little traumatized by it." Sykes told Ellen during the interview that Smith should have been removed from the building immediately after he slapped Rock. Adding, quote, "For them to let him stay in that room and enjoy the rest of the show and accept his award, I was like, how gross is this? This is just the wrong message. You assault somebody, you get escorted out of the building, and that's it." After lots of pushback, the Academy revealed that after the slap, they did ask Will Smith to leave, but he refused. Wanda added that she was hoping that when he won, she would be able to go out and say that he had left the building. But obviously that did not happen, and he got a standing ovation when he won for King Richard. And finally, at number 1, the Oscars. After the slap, the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences tweeted that they do not condone the violence that took place at the Oscars. But since they let Will Smith stay in the audience and still gave him the award, that didn't seem to be true to those watching. The Oscars then submitted another statement on Wednesday, days after the show, to reveal that they actually asked him to leave after the altercation, but he refused. The statement said, quote, "Things unfolded in a way we could not have anticipated. While we would like to clarify that Mr. Smith was asked to leave the ceremony and refused, we also recognize we could have handled the situation differently." After this, we got to hear Chris Rock speak for the first time since the incident during one of his comedy shows in Boston. He asked the crowd, quote, "How was your weekend?" clearly acknowledging the elephant in the room. He then added, quote, "I'm still kind of processing what happened." However, he didn't comment on it further and promised that he would discuss it in greater depth later. And at number 10, will.i.am. Producer and rapper will.i.am shared his take on the Free Britney movement with Metro in March of 2021. Saying the root of the issue is the lack of support and uplifting of women, not only in the music industry, but society in general. Britney and Will collaborated on the hit song Scream and Shout. He also produced her album Britney Jean, so he knows from personal experience that she's an amazing person with a pure heart. He then went on to explain that greed is most likely the cause of all of this, adding, quote, "Because she's such a machine, she was a machine to her family. There's this weird cloud around her that doesn't truly believe in her, and sadly she was forced to put her trust into people that just wanted to exploit her." And at number 9, Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian addressed the Free Britney movement on her Instagram story, shortly after Framing Britney Spears was released. She shared that she empathized with Britney because of the media's harsh treatment of Kim at times, although not even close to the same level. Saying, quote, "The way the media played a big role in her life can be very traumatizing and can really break even the strongest person." Kim also shared that she was completely broken by the media when she was pregnant with her daughter North. Because Kim developed preeclampsia during her pregnancy, she swelled up and gained 60 pounds over the course of her pregnancy. Adding, quote, "I cried every single day over what was happening to my body, mainly from the pressures of being constantly compared to what society considered a healthy pregnant person should look like, as well as being compared to Shamu the whale by the media, which is just horrible." And at number 8, John Mayer. John Mayer revealed that he was deeply affected by the Britney Spears documentary while he was co-hosting SiriusXM's Andy Cohen Live in February of 2021. He explained, quote, "I almost cried like 5 times during that." Adding, quote, "To see the sadness in this human being. I was on the edge of tears 5 times because if you understand what this business, industry, and lifestyle does to a person, to go through this and come out on the other side okay is to have infinite grace for those who struggle with it." And at number 7, Meghan McCain. The View host is always vocal about her opinions while filming for the show. When the hosts were speaking about the Free Britney movement in February of 2021, Meghan McCain revealed that she had been rooting for a Britney comeback for years. Adding, quote, "We're supposed to believe this is a woman who's competent enough to judge on the X Factor, to perform in sold-out shows that I saw personally, to be an incredible performer, do endorsement deals, do all these things that a competent person can do. But she's not allowed to have control over her finances. She's not allowed to go to Target and spend her own money. And I think that really just sums up how most people feel about the conservatorship. How can she be competent enough to perform, to pay her family's bills, but not be able to live the life how she wants to? It's completely insane. And at number 6, Sam Asghari. Britney's long-term boyfriend Sam Asghari has been vocal in his support of Britney and his desire for her to live a real life away from her father. The pair started dating in 2016, and Britney revealed that she has a desire to progress their relationship and get married and to have kids with him. However, her conservatorship does not allow this, and her father forces her to have an IUD. In February, he spoke in support of Britney, writing on Instagram, quote, "Now it's important for people to understand that I have zero respect for someone trying to control our relationship and constantly throwing obstacles our way. In my opinion, Jamie is a total I didn't come to this country to not be able to express my opinion and freedom." With him saying in a later statement that he wants the best for her and will continue to support her. Halfway at number 5, Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton has been very vocal about Britney's conservatorship, considering that Paris has recently exposed her own traumatizing past. After attending a boarding school for troubled youth, as well as her own issues with the media and paparazzi, Paris can relate to Britney's struggles, especially the feeling of being controlled. During an episode of SiriusXM's Andy Cohen Live in September 2020, Paris said, quote, "I just love her so much. I feel like if you're an adult, you should be able to live your life and not be controlled." Paris explained that she gets the feeling of outside forces trying to control her life, adding, quote, "I can't imagine right now if that was still happening to me. After just working your whole life and working so hard, she's this icon. I just feel like she has no control over her life whatsoever, and I just don't think that's fair." And she's completely right, that's not fair whatsoever. In at number 4, Cardi B. Cardi B is vocal about almost anything that's happening involving celebrities, and Free Britney is no exception. Cardi shared her thoughts about Free Britney with Entertainment Tonight in 2019, saying, quote, "Fame will really drive you insane. Not only will fame drive you insane, but it's like once you have money, everybody just wants to take it from you. When you're a celebrity, everyone wants to sue you. Everyone wants a piece of the money that you work for. It's very frustrating." Adding that the lack of privacy Britney has had her entire adult life would make things even more difficult. This is also a really interesting statement considering that Britney made a point in her deposition to say her father loved controlling her because her father had control over someone as powerful and famous as Britney. And at number 3, Sharon Osbourne. Sharon Osbourne shared her thoughts on Britney's conservatorship battle on The Talk in 2019, saying, quote, "The one thing about Britney that's always broken my heart about her is that she was working from a very, very young age. She was on Broadway at like 10 or something ridiculous, and she's worked for her entire life. Nobody works for her for free. They work for her because they get a percentage of what she earns." Adding that it's time for her dad to find a job of his own instead of living off his daughter's back. And this just brings up something that's really confusing for a lot of people. How is it possible for Britney to work and head these shows that make millions of dollars, but they say she can't even take care of herself? It just doesn't make any sense. And at number 2, Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake has been the enemy of Britney Spears' fans after Framing Britney Spears was released, where it showed Timberlake taking advantage of her name for more press and good publicity. However, he's recently apologized for his past behavior, and he's doing his best to make things right. This includes giving his public support for Britney during her legal battle. He tweeted that everyone should be supporting Britney during this time, adding, quote, "What's happening to her is just not right. No woman should ever be restricted from making decisions about her own body." He added in another tweet, quote, "No one should ever be held against their will, or ever have to ask permission to access everything that they've worked so hard for." And thankfully he's finally speaking out in support. And finally, number 1, Perez Hilton. Perez Hilton is a celebrity gossip blogger that published some of the worst material about Britney during her heyday. He's also been criticized in the past for his harmful coverage of women. However, it seems that after hearing Britney's comments to the court, he's on somewhat of an apology tour. While on Good Morning Britain, he said, quote, "I feel duped, deceived, and disappointed that I trusted and believed some that are in Britney's inner circle, who alleged that she had been in such poor shape that she couldn't even do a media interview." He also apologized on Sky News, saying, quote, "I can't say I was just young and dumb. I think we know a lot more now, and initially many folks, myself included, were shocked and alarmed and especially concerned for her young children." But he continued that he didn't express himself in the best ways, and he should have been more empathetic to her situation. Starting off at number 6, we have Sharon Osbourne. Sharon Osbourne is actually the latest person in this scandal who has spoken out against Amber's claims, and she somewhat defends Amber, but also somewhat doesn't. When she was on The Talk, she shared her opinion that Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were, quote, as bad as each other, and that she could understand the pair's relationship because she once had a similar dynamic with her husband, Ozzy, saying in that show, quote, do you know what I think? It takes two to tango. I think that they had a very vulnerable relationship. I think they're both as bad as each other. She gave him as good as she got it. It wasn't like a little mouse in the corner being battered. She gave him back, and I think that they were both drinking. Then bringing up the idea of potential substance abuse, she added, quote, I don't know what they were using. I have no idea who was doing what, but I know they were both drinking, and it's a volatile relationship. I had a relationship like that with my husband at one time. I would give him what he gave me. So here she wasn't directly defending either party, and she was saying that she did think Johnny was abusive, but so was Amber, and the both of them were involved in the violence, relating their experience to her own physical relationship with her husband, Ozzy Osbourne. And I think here she was probably playing both sides a bit because the statement can really be read for either side. And at number 5, Elon Musk. Elon Musk publicly dated Amber very shortly after her split from Johnny, and many have speculated that he financially supported her through the divorce as well. In one deposition from 2016, a lawyer read out text messages between the two of them, in which Amber told Elon that she was going to get a restraining order against Mr. Depp, with the messages being sent a day after the alleged incident where Johnny threw a phone at Amber. Elon denied having any relationship with Amber before her divorce, but the court heard that he texted Amber regularly and promised to provide her with 24/7 security, with one text from Elon saying, quote, the offer would stand, even if you never wanted to see me again. Anyway, sorry for being an idiot. The radio silence hurts a lot. It only matters because I really like you. Then the concierge from Amber's building testified that he saw Elon in their building while her and Johnny were still together, and that Amber even gave Elon a key. Then on to the money. Singer Sia actually raised eyebrows when she accused Elon of giving Amber the $7 million that she won in her divorce settlement that she said she would donate to charity, with the tweet reading, quote, also Elon Musk, didn't you give her the $7 million she donated from her settlement? She still came out $7 million richer. Why are you protecting her? She will never get the help she needs if we all stay silent. With Sia obviously insinuating that Elon gave her the money so she could save face PR-wise but still leave richer. And considering how whipped Elon sounded in those text messages, it's obvious that he would do some shady stuff to be with her. Or at least that's what I think. And at number 4, James Franco. James Franco did not make any statements publicly, but it seems that he supported Amber privately because he was another celebrity that dated her while her divorce was in court, and she was alleging abuse from Johnny. And we know that they were definitely getting together because there was elevator footage of Franco going to Amber and Johnny's LA apartment late at night while Johnny was away. Franco also did not give evidence or witness statement, but Heard described the visit on May 22nd of 2016. She claimed that she had facial injuries after Depp threw a phone at her after he found feces in their marital bed, which Depp claimed she was responsible for, and we now know that she was. That will never not be gross. With Heard saying in court that Franco made a comment about the bruises on her face, saying, quote, oh my god, what happened to you? He saw my face when I let him in, he saw my face and he said, what the F? Franco was roped into the whole drama because Depp's team wanted him to testify if he had seen bruises on Amber's face the night that they were seen riding in the elevator together. But to appear in court, Franco asked that his answers not be shared with the public, and if they were, Depp would be personally responsible. So we don't know exactly what he said, but we can assume that it would be in defense of Amber as he was pursuing her and they had worked together before in the past. And at number 3, Christy Sexton. Christy Sexton, Amber's celebrity acting coach, gave testimony that defended Amber Heard, with her saying, quote, Amber is a very open, passionate, committed, and generous person. She works hard and is very committed to her career. With the coach testifying that Johnny was very possessive over her and he would not allow her to take certain acting roles. Also saying he would never let Amber out of the marriage, with Amber telling her, quote, Johnny will never let me go. Sexton told the court that Heard had said she was embarrassed at the idea of bad publicity over her marriage with the Pirates of the Caribbean star ending after just a year, but she had to leave him, the newspaper reported. The acting coach also testified what Amber told her happened on the night that Johnny's finger was cut off, saying in a statement, quote, she told me that he had broken the bottle and cut himself with the bottle that he had broken. Also stating that she was nervous about certain acting roles as Johnny did not allow her to take certain roles that he found too sexual. In at number 2, Raquel Pennington. One friend of Amber's claimed that she feared that Johnny might accidentally kill Amber and that she felt, quote, an obligation to stay close to Amber for her safety. In a written witness statement submitted in the Hollywood actor's libel trial against the Sun newspaper, Ms. Pennington said, quote, "Many times over the course of their relationship, Amber has confided in me about Johnny's abusing her, both physically and verbally," then claiming that Australia is when she first feared for Amber's life. And allegedly, Amber was a hostage for 3 days. Then Raquel was called to Amber's apartment when her and Johnny were in a heated fight, and claims that she walked in and saw Amber crouching in a corner while Johnny was yelling at her. And even though his testimony was very damning initially, she later set the record straight in deposition that she had never seen Johnny physically hurt Amber in any way, and any proof she had was just from Amber's mouth. And in at number 1, Amanda de Cadenet. The British talk show host retweeted several messages of support for Heard in 2016 when the allegations first came out, as she's a prominent Me Too activist and was a friend of Amber Heard's. Most of the tweets she retweeted were supported by the fact that Amber was abused, citing paperwork that was filed at the time. de Cadenet had previously shared a photo of herself with Heard and Amber Valletta during her birthday party, one day after Amber Heard claimed that she was abused by Depp. In the now deleted photo, Amber is smiling, but covered half of her face with her hair. But for a current update on the matter, de Cadenet actually dropped her support from Heard after the leaked audio of Amber talking down to Johnny was released, even saying that she felt, quote, used and misled by the actress.